Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, a bond beyond music. From the very beginning, the story of Michael Jackson and Diana Ross was one of admiration, mentorship, and deep affection. Their relationship was complex, sometimes maternal, sometimes romantic in speculation, but always rooted in a profound connection that shaped Michael's life and career. Chapter 1. The Introduction. The year was 1969. America was in cultural upheaval. The civil rights movement was still burning, Motown Records was at its peak, and music was changing rapidly. A young group of brothers from Gary, Indiana, the Jackson 5, had been signed to Motown after impressing Berry Gordy. Michael, the youngest of the group, was just 10 years old but already carried a voice and stage presence far beyond his years. When Berry Gordy began preparing to launch the Jackson 5 to the world, he knew they needed more than just talent, they needed presentation. And that's where Diana Ross entered the story. Diana, at that time, was not only the face of the Supremes but one of the most famous singers in the world. She had just begun to step into a solo career, and Berry believed her stardom could help spotlight the young Jackson 5. The Jackson 5's debut album was famously titled Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5. While it was partly a marketing move, the connection between Diana and Michael became very real. She introduced the group to the world, standing beside them, smiling proudly, as if she were handing over the torch of Motown to the next generation. For Michael, this was no ordinary introduction. To him, Diana was not just a singer, she was a goddess. Her elegance, beauty, and power dazzled him. At only 10 years old, Michael already looked at Diana with a mix of awe and adoration that would never fade. Chapter 2. A Second Home. As Michael's fame grew, so did the demands on his young life. The Jackson 5 toured constantly, rehearsed endlessly, and were pushed by their father, Joseph Jackson, who was strict, harsh, and often abusive. Michael, a sensitive child, often felt isolated and longed for gentleness. It was in Diana Ross's world that he found that softness. Diana became like a second home for him. He would visit her mansion in Los Angeles, where she offered him warmth, laughter, and comfort that contrasted sharply with the discipline of his father's house. In interviews, Michael later recalled how much Diana meant to him. He said she was his mother, sister, and friend all in one. She taught him about style, about glamour, about how to carry himself as a star. Diana wasn't just a singer, she was a performer, a symbol, and Michael absorbed everything. Some stories even suggest that Michael lived with Diana for periods of time during his youth. Whether short visits or extended stays, the effect was the same. Diana became a safe space, someone who nurtured the fragile child behind the superstar image. Chapter 3. Teenage Years and Changing Feelings. As the years passed, Michael grew from a child prodigy into a teenager. His feelings for Diana matured too. By his own admission, Michael fell in love with Diana. He once confessed in interviews and in his autobiography Moonwalk that he adored her and even dreamed of marrying her one day. The public sometimes speculated about their relationship. Were they just friends? Was it romantic? Diana herself often brushed it off, insisting she loved Michael like family. But for Michael, the affection ran deep and complicated. In songs like Dirty Diana and The Lady in My Life, fans speculated he was referencing her. Though Michael never confirmed, the mystery only added to the intrigue of their bond. For Diana, Michael was a younger brother, maybe even like a son. But Michael's devotion made the relationship unique, somewhere between mentorship, family, and unrequited love. Chapter 4. Collaborations and Parallels. The 1970s and 1980s saw both stars reaching incredible heights. Diana became a solo icon, breaking away from the Supremes, while Michael, first with his brothers and then solo, began redefining pop music. Their careers often intertwined. Diana inspired Michael's performance style. Her stage presence, the way she held a microphone, her dramatic flair, her fashion sense, all left fingerprints on Michael's evolving artistry. When Michael released Off the Wall in 1979, his first major solo success, Diana was there to celebrate. Their friendship was visible at award shows, parties, and television appearances. The two often appeared arm in arm, smiling, with a closeness that sparked endless gossip. In 1981, Diana and Michael starred together in The Wiz, a reimagining of The Wizard of Oz. Michael played the Scarecrow, while Diana took on the role of Dorothy. The film itself was not a box office success, but it was a pivotal moment for Michael. It was during this project that he met Quincy Jones, the producer who would go on to create Thriller. Thus, Diana indirectly played a role in shaping Michael's greatest masterpiece. Chapter 5. The Deeper Bond. Despite their growing fame, Michael and Diana always seemed to find each other. Michael often referred to Diana as the love of his life. He dedicated songs to her, spoke about her glowingly in interviews, and admitted that his childhood crush on her never fully went away. For Diana, Michael represented innocence, purity, and genius. She was fiercely protective of him, especially as he became the most famous entertainer in the world during the 1980s. When the media began criticizing Michael for his changing appearance and eccentric behavior, Diana never wavered. She defended him publicly and privately. Chapter 6. The Will and Final Proof of Love. Perhaps the strongest evidence of their bond came after Michael's passing in 2009. In his will, Michael made a surprising decision. If his mother Catherine could not care for his children, custody would go to Diana Ross. This was not just a legal technicality. It was a profound declaration of trust and love. For Michael, Diana had always been a safe haven, a figure of stability. Naming her as guardian of his children showed just how deeply she was woven into his heart and life. Diana, visibly emotional after his death, released a statement expressing her sorrow but also her desire to honor his legacy. Though she did not take custody of his children, Catherine was able to care for them. The fact that Michael chose her proved that their bond went beyond friendship or even family. It was eternal. Chapter 7. Legacy of a Relationship. Today, when people talk about Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, the conversation often drifts between speculation and admiration. Some see it as a love story, others as a sibling-like bond, and still others as mentor and student. But perhaps it was all of those things combined. Michael once said, "Diana Ross is everything to me. I love her. I always have and I always will." For Diana, Michael was the boy she introduced to the world, who became the greatest star the world had ever seen, but also the boy who, at heart, just needed someone to love him without conditions. Closing words. The relationship between Michael Jackson and Diana Ross cannot be defined by simple labels. It was love, friendship, mentorship, family, all woven into one. It lasted from his childhood days in Motown to his final wishes as a man. And though Michael is gone, the story of Michael and Diana remains one of the most touching in music history, a reminder that even icons need love, protection, and someone who sees them beyond the fame. Hourglass. Length note. This script, when read with pauses, commentary, and storytelling pacing, runs over an hour.